Hello again, everyone. Welcome to Washington Gun Law TV. I am Washington Gun Law President William Kirk. Thanks for joining us. Hey, some of you may already be aware because of this video right here, but if you're not, you need to listen up here because late Saturday night, like at 10:30 at night, the Washington State House of Representatives decided to pull two bills which had been sitting in committee and suddenly schedule them for a floor vote. One of them is House Bill 1240, which would be a ban on semi-automatic rifles. The other one's House Bill 1143, or what we've been calling the pre-purchasing licensing requirement. Now listen, both of these bills could go to the floor at any moment, and the votes are there for them to pass. So today, let's give you a really important lesson in huge legislative updates, why you better stock up now. Okay, before we get going down the road we're going down, proud to announce that this video is being brought to you by the Conservative Ladies of Washington. That's right. Sign up for their Legislative Action Center. It is absolutely the best in the business. Not only will you get up-to-the-minute updates on all of the craziness that's going on in Olympia, but you will also receive action items about what you can actually do to try to stop some of this insanity. It's not exclusive just to your Second Amendment issues, which are kicking around Olympia. As we know, the nut jobs down there have a lot of crazy ideas that need to be stopped. So sign up for the Conservative Ladies of Washington's Legislative Action Center. It is the best in the business. That's how you're going to get up-to-the-minute updates and how you can learn what you can do to stop the insanity. For more information, visit them at conservativeladiesofwa.com. Okay, listen, these are big updates and these are important because I'm telling you folks right now, if you had ever thought about maybe buying a semi-automatic rifle, or if you already own some firearms in that platform and thought about perhaps expanding your collection, now might be a really wise time to do that. Why is that? Well, that's because House Bill 1240, Washington's seventh run at an assault weapon ban, was suddenly pulled out of committee Saturday night around 10:30 in the evening and now placed back on the floor calendar. Now, the floor votes are taking place today, Monday, tomorrow, and Wednesday, okay? And we do not know when this floor vote will take place, but we do know that House Bill 1240 is absolutely, positively, and without a doubt going to make it to the floor for a vote, and we do anticipate it is going to pass out of the House. What happens then? Well, it will go over to the Senate. Well, it will go through the same old process. It will bounce around in committees, and if it makes it to the Senate floor and is voted upon, it will then be headed to the governor's desk for signature. Let us remember that unlike the magazine ban last year, and unlike the other law that we're going to talk about in a moment, House Bill 1240 has an emergency enactment clause, which means it goes into effect the minute the governor signs it. So I'm telling you folks, if you've ever thought about going out and wanting to stock up or dip your toes into the semi-automatic rifle pool, this might be the time to do it. Now, if you want to also learn how to do it without providing the least amount of data possible so that those firearms can be traced and yet still do it in a completely lawful fashion, go ahead and watch this video right here. We'll walk you through everything you need to do. So that is House Bill 1240. We'll put the links for it down below. You all need to carefully watch that. The other piece of bad news, because that wasn't enough, is that House Bill 1143, the pre-purchasing licensing requirement, was also pulled out of committee Saturday night around 10:30 and also scheduled for a floor vote. Now, we do not, again, know when this one's going to pop up. It could be happening right now during the recording of this particular video. It could happen Tuesday. It could happen Wednesday. But we know by the close of session Wednesday, we anticipate House Bill 1143 will come up. Now, let's remember, this is a bill that, if enacted into legislation, would require you to go through a background check before you're allowed to go through a background check to get your firearm. Or in other words, you need to get the governor's permission before you get to exercise what is supposedly an inalienable right. Now, there had been one substitute to this bill that would have had an enactment date of 2025. However, a new amendment has been added to the bill, and now the effective date, if signed into law, and I'm sorry to I have to keep a straight face on this, but it would be January 1st of 2024, roughly 9 months from now. And I candidly, with all due respect to the state of Washington, don't believe that there is any way on God's green earth that they're going to have the infrastructure in place to implement that law by the beginning of next calendar year. And listen, there is something else I want you to be aware of. If we take a look at last year's playbook, and when Senate Bill 5078 and when House Bill 1705 came up for debates, they did not come up at 10 o'clock in the morning. morning. They did not come up at 1 o'clock or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. No, in fact, all of these bills were intentionally brought up late in the evening, just before the expiration of that day's calendar. So if you are trying to track either 1240 or 1143, I would start very carefully paying attention sometime after 7 o'clock in the evening. That's when the proponents of this type of legislation appear to be willing to discuss this, when they believe that nobody is actually tuning in and watching. Okay, so once again, the two bills that I need all of you to very carefully pay attention to is House Bill 1240, that's your semi-automatic rifle ban, House Bill 1143, which would be a pre-purchasing licensing requirement, okay? How can you get involved? What can you do to try to stop the insanity? We'll put links down below on how to contact your legislator, or you can just remember who sponsored this video and sign up for the Conservative Ladies of Washington Legislative Action Center, because nobody is tracking all the insanity in Olympia better than that group. Listen, you may have more questions about what's happening in Olympia or what's left of your Second Amendment rights. You guys should know the drill on how to contact us by now, but all of our contact information is in the description box below. In the meantime, let's remember that part of being the lawful and responsible gun owner, like we talk about all the time here at Washington Gun Law, is to know what the law is in every situation and how it applies to you in any instance that you may find yourself. Until next time, thanks for watching and stay safe.